Hello everyone, it's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my YouTube channel slash podcast lovelies. Today I'll be continuing my series that deals with relationships, and today I'll be dealing with relationships that deals with your family. I'll be speaking on the importance of it and how it can affect you in a positive way and in a negative way as well. So please stay tuned. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Also hit that like button because I know you guys would love this video slash podcast, and also share this video with everyone you know, family, friends, enemies, anyone in general, especially people who want a great family structure. As I talked in my previous podcast, I talked about relationships and how relationships are very important for us to have. And more than likely, any type of conversation or any type of meeting you have with the person, it's gonna develop a type of relationship, and you're going to establish that relationship regardless of who that person is. So now today we're going to talk about family relationships. More than likely, you're going to have a family relationship based off of blood, based off of adoption, or based off of marriage. For example, family relationships tend to be like a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, an uncle, an aunt, a grandmother, grandfather, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, or anyone in general, like a sister-in-law, daughter-in-law, or family-in-laws in general. So when you have a family, that is actually the first place that you learned how to interact with people, whether it's in a positive way or in a negative way. And sometimes we'll be able to identify whether we had a positive family structure or family relationship or a negative one based off of looking at other people's families or going to therapy and being able to construct the family structure that you had. Now, based off of the family structure that you had, it really does establish a lot. So we tend to be the type of people we were raised into. So if you had a negative family structure, you do tend to at times have negative relationships with people. And if you were born into a positive one, you tend to have a positive relationship with other people based off of what you came on in your family. And it's not really your fault, it's just something that we were born into. And the older we get, we do become a lot more mature, and we do get the help we need so we can have positive structures or relationships with people. Depending on what went on in your family, it also gives a little insight as to what you will accept or what you probably would not accept in people. So for example, if your parents were in a very negative relationship, some people may accept negative things in their relationships as well, because that's what their parents dealt with and that's what their parents tolerated. However, some people will actually not tolerate that because they realize what went on with their parents was not positive, and that's something that they don't really want to go with. So regardless of your family structure, you'll be able to react to certain situations in your life to see what you will accept and what you will not accept in others. Having family relationships is also important for your mental health, because the way you look at this world is a little bit of a reflection of how you grew up and the way you were probably treated in your family as well. Your well-being is also something that you look after when you have your family relationship or family structure, because things that you more than likely do, you did learn from a family member or you learned from family. So depending on your family, and sometimes depending on the culture of your family, you will do things differently than other people. Your family relationship also shows stability as well. So a lot of people who don't really have a huge family structure, at times some people can take advantage of that because they know, oh, I can treat this person or attempt to treat this person any type of way because they don't have anyone to back them up. Like, they're not going to do anything because they don't have any family, and they're probably going to allow me to do things. That's why you may hear people in relationships saying, I didn't have my family. If I did have my family, I probably would have never been in a relationship like this, or probably would have never done this. However, I was by myself. I was alone, so I just had to do things the best way that I could. That is an important reason why we have to try our best to have a healthy family relationship or structure, because a lot of people who are outside and they probably didn't have a good family relationship can take advantage of those who don't have one as well. I remember I was hearing something that someone was saying that people who have great family structures or a great family relationship tend to be able to live freely in this world to a certain extent, because they're like, you know what, I have my family, they're going to support me, they're going to have my back. So regardless of what happens or regardless of what I do, I at least have a safety net in them, and I at least have their support. However, someone who doesn't have that strong family structure or family relationship, they tend to really think really hard and long before doing something, because they just know that no one's going to support them, or they may not do stuff that they truly want to do because they realize, like, you know what, I'm all by myself and I don't really have any support, so I have to really think hard as to what I want to do in life and make my decisions. And that's something that is really informative and mind-boggling, because probably a lot of family members didn't know this. A lot of family members just think, they have their own wings, let them fly and let them do whatever. However, if they don't have the support needed, a lot of people don't really do what they want to do in life. They don't really accomplish their dreams, and sometimes they may not have that family support because maybe you don't really want that family in your life, or maybe, your family is no longer among the living. So that's probably one of the reasons why you would do that. And it's very hard and very saddening, because a lot of people would do things in life, however, they just don't have the support. They don't have the familial support needed in order to accomplish their dreams. Having a good family relationship or structure also helps us in society, because when you're dealing with an individual, you can more than likely see their family background and what was supported and what was not. And to a certain extent, there are exceptions to the rules. There are some people who were raised nicely and great, but they did not follow the pathway that their parents gave them. However, more than likely, someone is a reflection of their family and what was accepted and what was not accepted. And also, when you come into society after you've been raised with your parents, you do become a citizen of society. And if we have good family relationships and a great family structure, then we would have a better society. However, if we don't have these structures and relationships that are positive, then in society, you will be able to see that reflected. And that's why you do see people go towards a wrong direction a good percentage of the time, because of the way they were raised, and they probably didn't feel the support needed within a family, and they didn't feel as though they were worth it and that they were treated nicely. So that's why at times people may act out, or they may do things that they probably would have never done if they had a great family relationship and they had people who are of the same blood, or through adoption or through marriage, that really loved them and respected them. Because people who tend to have a great structure tend to have connections with people that are healthy and that aren't really codependent. So also, having a great family structure can also prohibit you from getting into financial difficulties to a certain extent, because people do talk about how people will get married with someone in order for financial stability, and the person wasn't the best. And even though financial stability is important in regards to relationships, sometimes some people will get into really bad relationships because that's the only person who would support them. And their parents or their family was just not there for them. They didn't help them in any way possible. So they got into terrible relationships. Also, having a great familial bond, a lot of people are able to save up and probably buy a house that's great, buy a car that's new, buy a house that's cash, because they had that familial bond that really helped them be able to save up to help themselves, and they did that from generation to the next generation. And with this generation, I'm seeing that a lot of people, or a lot of young people, are staying with their parents or with family members because the economy isn't the greatest. And to a certain extent, that does show that a lot of people are becoming closer with their family, and their family members do have their back. And they know that if they need anything, if they need any support or any help, they will get that with their family. They will be able to work, even maybe like give a gift to the person who they're staying, like maybe their mom, dad, grandmother, aunt, uncle, or grandfather. They'll be able to, give them a gift of appreciation. So in this generation, I think the familial bond is, starting to get a little better. And a lot of people are able to help each other. A lot of situations that people get themselves into, sadly, is because they did not have a great familial bond. They did not have a good family relationship, and they were running away from that, and rightfully so. But before they were able to get that happy ending, sometimes they did go through a lot of things that were very negative, and it's very sad and unfortunate, because if they have that great family relationship, that great family bond, then they would have never had this problem. They would have been able to live in a great place and have the support of family. Another reason why I feel as though it's important for us to speak more on or try our best to develop a great family relationship is because families tend to be the ones that teach values. And if you don't have your family to teach you what's good or bad, then you won't know. You will go into this world a little bit confused and a little bit not prepared, because without you knowing what's good and what's bad, then you may get yourself into trouble, or things may not go the way it would go if you did have that familial bond or that familial relationship. Also, you're able to learn a lot of lessons from people of your family, whether they are young, middle-aged, older. You can learn a lot of lessons. A lot of people do learn from the elderly. However, young and children and middle-aged, they do have great lessons too. And sometimes you can look at your family members and learn from their mistakes. Or usually if they tell you something or great advice, you would take it and you'll see what they were telling you, or more than likely you will look at their life and be like, you know what, I probably don't want to do this, or I probably do want to do this because I saw how this person's life got better, or either they got worse. So having a good family bond, you guys can talk about things and really benefit each other and really help each other in regards to seeing what you probably should do in life and probably what you should not do in life. Last but not least is, if you have a good family bond, you'll be able to be a lot more confident in yourself, because even if you have no one in this world, you obviously have yourself, but if you have your family, you know that you have the support needed in order for you to make your decisions in life, and in order